Magical. Magical is the only word that I can think for New Year's Eve in Times Square. It's crazy, and it's something that almost everybody has on their bucket list. It's something everybody wants to do. I had it on my bucket list, and I was actually lucky enough to be able to cross that off 3 years ago. And after having my experience, I decided that I think there's things that people should know. I think you should know the history of it. You should know how it's changed over the years, and you should also know some specific facts that are relevant to today and to have a really good experience there. So for starters, let's go with some history behind it. Did you know that the first time ball has been around since the 19th century, actually built in 1829? And yeah, it's called a time ball. According to the New Yorker in 1818, Captain Robert of the Royal Navy decided, hey, you know what? We're sailors and we don't really have a good way to see what time it is on land, and it was very crucial to them during that time. So, because of that, they came up with a time ball, and it was right there on the edge of the coast, atop a naval observatory. They mounted a ball. The first one was in Portsmouth, England, and I have a picture right here of what one of the old ones looked like. It wasn't a fancy ball, it was just a little one like that. They would raise it to the top of the flagpole, and it would begin its descent at noon, and that way they could be able to tell what time of day it is based on the place of the ball on the pole and the sunlight. So, according to the Business Insider, how did that go from here? From that to what we have today as a celebratory ball? Well, the New York Times was up and coming, and they bought the building One Times Square to have the New York Times. Obviously, it's now on Wall Street, but that is where it was originally planned to be. And he wanted something huge and celebratory. And by that point, time balls had kind of become obsolete. We had radio, we had clocks, there was really no need for them. But they've become pretty to look at. So he said, hey, let's add some lights and stuff, and we can have a big celebration. The ball is actually dropped every single year from 1907 up until today, with the exception of 2 years, 1942 and 1943. The only reason it didn't drop in those years was because of wartime dim out. And during those 2 years, they did a moment of silence and then chimes to bring in the new year, which I thought was pretty nice. So now let's see how it's changed over the years. According to an article on the official Times Square website, our ball that we know today, that's not what it's always looked like. It's changed drastically over the last 100 plus years. Yeah, I said 100 plus years. It's really been that long. So the first ball was 5 feet in diameter and weighed 700 pounds. It was made of wood and iron and just light bulbs. Here's a picture of what the first one looked like. See? It's kind of cool. So over the years, it's had multiple changes. For 7 years, from 1981 to 1988, they actually had red and green light bulbs on it and made it into an apple for marketing. But the most recent update was in 2007 for the 100th year anniversary, and we completely redesigned this whole ball. No more iron, no more aluminum, no more wood, no more of that. We made a full LED crystal light ball, which was computer programmed. Now this ball was so crazy that we made it 12 feet in diameter, and that weighs 11,875 pounds. It's massive. For that reason, they actually raised the flagpole upon One Times Square to 475 feet and expanded it and permanently mounted the ball. So you can go there anytime and still see the ball at the top. It just doesn't actually drop for celebratory reasons. So, now that we've talked about all that, let's look at some facts that are actually relevant to today. There are plenty of restrictions. Like, you can't just walk in and say, hey, here I am. Let's go. Let's see the ball drop. It doesn't work like that. They actually block off the blocks with a metal fence. So when you get there, first of all, you're going to have to run 3 blocks just trying to get to one. You need to get there early. And they scan you with a metal detector. And then they put you on the fence. And once everybody is filled in that fence, they block it off. No one gets in, no one gets out. You cannot pee. There's no place to go. There is no porta potty. And if you do have to leave, you're not getting anywhere near Times Square. You gotta go. So just be prepared for that. Also, you cannot have a bag. So don't be thinking you can tuck all the stuff in your bag and go. They're gonna make you throw it away or make you leave. You don't want to do either one of those things. So wear something that's got a lot of pockets and you can tuck a bunch of stuff in. You need to bring your own food. Bring your own drinks. I actually dehydrated myself for 3 days and still had to pee, so don't do that. Got there at 12 p.m., waited 13 hours. It was terrible. It's also freezing. Wear lots and lots of clothes. You're going to feel hot when you're putting on all these layers, but you know what? When it's negative 12 degrees, you're going to be so thankful you have them. Also, you need to plan ahead. Have plan A, B, C, and D in order, because it's not going to work out perfectly. And the blocks fill up fast, so it's going to be all the way back to Central Park. Don't ask me what they do in Central Park, because they cannot see the ball drop, but they party it up. So, with all that being said, the 3 main points I think everyone should know and understand to have a great New Year's in Times Square are the history behind it, the changes that have been made, and facts that are relevant to today. So now that you know this, you can have a great, successful, magical time. Although there are a lot of things about New Year's in Times Square that aren't all that great, you can still have a wonderful, once-in-a-lifetime experience.